Okay, welcome to the Boozecast. My name's Nick, and I'm joined this week by Ryan from West Ham Fan TV. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Cheers. Thanks for inviting me on, mate.
We're in a studio.
I know, mate.
We're doing it properly.
Who's behind the curtain?
You got a plant behind you.
And Gonzo and Gio, by you, is it? Yeah, no, thanks for inviting me on, mate.
No, it's good,
Looking
mate.
forward to it.
It's good. We sort of met in the middle. This worked well, didn't it?
Yeah, Epping, beautiful
Yeah.
part of the country.
It is nice. It is nice. I struggled to find the studio, but yeah, no, it's good. Good little location. Today, what we're going to do is talk about sort of very briefly we're not going to go back over the whole season, but we're going to look at the last couple of games. We're going to look ahead to Newcastle and Everton as well, and then we're going to talk about the summer because obviously the concessions news and the price hike news is great, but that was quickly followed by the mouthpieces coming out and saying that we're skint. So it just feels like we've been queued up to say, well, we're not going to raise your season ticket prices, but basically we're going to have to sell some players.
Well, the thing is, we're not far from Sullivan's house, so we can always
Don't talk to
a
it.
couple of these and we can go around there. We're shouting from these gates.
But starting on a positive note, Arsenal, mate, what a game, wasn't it?
Do you know what? It's one of them ones I don't think any of us see it coming. We weren't expecting to get a win now.
No.
But I remember sitting there and we got about 10, 15 minutes into the game. And I remember I was sitting there and watching it with my wife and I said, do you know what? I think we're going to win today. She was like, no chance. I went, no, I've got a good feeling because every time I watch Arsenal this season, they're straight out from the blocks.
Yeah.
But they just couldn't seem to break us down. We was frustrated and the crowd went dead after about 15 minutes. And I thought, if we nick a goal, we'll see this out. Because I actually like it when we play five at the back. I think the five at the back works with our wing backs.
It suits us, really.
Yeah, with
it does.
Scholes and obviously Wan-Bissaka on the other side. I think they're both brilliant at getting forward and defending. And I think Creswell coming in as well has done a brilliant job. So, yeah, no, it's always good to get one over there.
Do you feel like Creswell's helping with Scholes?
Yeah,
massively. I think he is, isn't he?
Yeah, massively. And I think sometimes when people say, oh, they don't deserve a new contract and things like that, I think that's why you have to give these players a contract just to keep them around for that little bit longer. Because I don't think Creswell's let us down this season when he's played.
Not at all.
And you can see the confidence with Scholes and what a player he's going to be.
He's superb, mate. He's superb. But sort of looking at, I mean, I would have, if you'd have asked me 3 months ago, we're going to give Creswell a new contract, I'd have gone, no, you're mad. But when you look at the scale of the job that's got to be done in the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, if we thought the rebuild last year was big, this is going to be. So I think to a degree, if you have got a couple of quick wins, people that can sort of stick around for a year or so to see you through a period. And also at the same time, if he's doing like a little bit of a mentoring role for Scholes and helping him develop into a proper player, then it's a win.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I totally agree. And I know we had the situation with Bonner as well, where they give him a deal.
Yeah.
A lot of people was kicking off about it. But sometimes, because I think that's one mistake that Lopetegui made in the summer, was getting rid of a lot of sort of, not even just the playing staff, it was the coaching staff as well. Like getting rid of that British core in the changing room. And I think you could see that it was divided, not only on the pitch, but off the pitch as well.
Well, it's a little bit like what Moyes did when he went into Man United. He ripped it all apart. He sort of gutted the coaching staff.
Yeah.
But you're right about because there weren't many English speakers in that coaching staff, apparently.
No, there wasn't. And I know, what's his name? The coach that always survives every manager.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like... it was good that he kept him on, but I thought someone like Kevin Nolan should have been kept on for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But look, Lopetegui, he come in, and that era now just seems a lifetime ago, and it was only this season.
I know. But yeah, it was a terrible way to fucking start the season. It was. I think most people felt with Lopetegui that was never going to work. I think we kept him for too long. I think they should have got rid of him. Potter should have been brought in sooner. He should have had longer to work with this season. You know, the season was almost dead when he came in. So it is a shame. But I do feel like we've got the right man now. I think it's going to take some serious adjustment for me because I just can't be pleased when it comes to football, it seems, right? So we've gone from David Moyes low blocking.
You need to show that aggression more on your channel. You're not aggressive.
But I can't be pleased because I don't like that. Well, I can be, but I don't like the David Moyes low block defensive football. You know, I don't like that. But from what I've seen of, I mean, look, don't get me wrong, the Arsenal performance was brilliant. That is a brilliant defensive performance against a top team. But then when you go to Leicester that kind of patient possession-based game, that's going to take some getting used to.
The Leicester game frustrated me a bit because I think that I thought we played all right in the first half, the way we was knocking it about, but then there was no end product. And then I think once we got that second goal, I think Potter just thought, you know what, I'm happy with this. We'll see this game out. I'll make the substitutions early, give people a run out. And he was just happy to get the 3 points, keep the clean sheet. But we could have gone on and beat Leicester 4 or 5-0 if we wanted to.
Yeah.
And that would have given everyone a bit more confidence and the fans something to cheer about, because we haven't had a lot to cheer about this season.
No, not at all, mate. It was good to have the 2 back-to-back wins and the 2 clean sheets. It's just, you know what it's like, as well as anyone else over that stadium. It's hard over there. That I just felt like that was a good opportunity for Potter to put on a show for the fans that was in there. That's all. But I suppose he's got a job to do. Somebody made a good point the other day as well. When he signed this deal, apparently there's KPIs in his contract. So I think he's got targets that he's got to meet this year.
Yeah.
So it isn't a free hit. It isn't.
No, in Sullivan, he's probably put in there Premier League champions or something like that.
So, but that's what I mean. So it isn't like it is a pre-season like people are saying. I mean, for some fans it might be, but I don't think it is for him. I think he's got to try and get as far up the.
Yeah, no, Potter's a professional. You know, he's worked at Chelsea. It didn't work out for him, but he's worked with some top players before, and he wants to come in, and he wants to have a look about the club as well. Like you can see, he wants to look at the youth as well, which is good.
Yeah.
As West Ham fans, we all like seeing a youngster come through. It's very rare that they break in the first team, so you got to be extra special to get in the first team. But yeah, no, I do like the look of Potter. He's basically like, he's come in, it's a labourer starting a new job, and he's got to use the old labourer's tools.
Yeah.
He can't do anything, but he's got to go out in the summer and get his new tools, new players in. And I like the way he comes across as well.
I think that's what people have fallen in love with. I think people, when you consider what we've had, Moyes wasn't a very personable manager with the fans. Well, some fans loved him, but on the whole, I thought he was just fucking abrasive, to be honest. Whereas Potter's not. Lopetegui was just a raving lunatic.
Yeah,
there was something wrong with him, and now we've got somebody who just seems like a decent bloke. You know, he does, and I don't think he's. Of course, he's going to be playing the PR game, and he's going to be saying the right things to keep. It's part of his job. He's got to do that. You know, he's got to motivate his players. He's got to try and keep the fans on side. That's also part of the manager's job as well. But I don't think he's bullshitting though. I think he does get some of the stuff that he said when he came in, where he said, I do get that they're a demanding fan base and they do need football that they can identify with. And I don't think that's rubbish. I think he understands it. I don't think it's just words, you know.
No, I agree. And he done a similar sort of thing at Brighton, didn't he? When he first come in, I think they were around the relegation zone, and then he turned them into a European club and brought in some really good players.
Well, it took a while. I mean, it was what was he there for? Was it 3 seasons?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the only thing with that, I think that proves that's a case in point that shows that he can do it. If you back him and you give him the players that he needs, the only concern that I'm always going to have is the fact that with the people that run the club. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, because I think he ain't a magician. You know, I know his name's Potter, but he's not a magician, and he's a really good coach. But the Premier League is competitive. When you look at the Bournemouths and Newcastles and Fulhams and all these teams, they've got to back him. They've got to give him some good tools, and I think he'll do well. He'll do really well.
One thing like you can give credit to the board for is they've backed the managers over the last. Yeah. Like they give David Moyes a lot of money, they give Lopetegui a lot of money, so they've got to give Potter a lot of money. But then this is the hard thing about being a manager as well. You got to go out and get the right players that suit your style of play, and I think that we need the midfield is non-existent, isn't it? Really, I think one thing I said this the other day. I think one thing that let Lopetegui down in the summer was letting Ward-Prowse go.
Yeah,
because since Ward-Prowse has come back in the last 2 games, you can see the difference. You know, he's not the quickest. No. You'll see the fucking Arsenal goalkeeper.
Did you see that? Right. I only watched the clip the other day because I left before that happened. So before he got skipped, mate, the geezer started off about 5 yards behind him.
One thing I like about Ward-Prowse, though, and I've noticed in the last 2 games, is he likes to drop off and just wait for the ball. And we know he can hit a ball. You know he's got a great pass.
He's a good technical player.
Yeah.
He is.
But he just needs the legs round him.
Yeah.
So if we can get a couple of players in there that've got a bit of pace about them, one thing I want to see at West Ham is I want to see like a midfielder, like someone like, no, I'm not saying Phil Foden, but someone like Phil Foden.
Yeah,
You know, someone that just drops deep, gets the ball and wants to take players on.
Yeah.
I always find that when we get the ball, we always go backwards because our players ain't confident enough to try to take people. Kudus does.
You could drop Kudus in there.
Yeah, and I think it will work well.
He's a ball carrier, you know? So that could work. But what about the elephant in the room? Soucek. What do you do with that? I mean, I must admit, look, I've been saying for the last year, however long it is, you can't play. Well, I didn't think you could ever play Alvarez, Soucek, and James Ward-Prowse in the midfield and for it to be functional. But Arsenal and then Leicester. But the issue that you got there is they might be fine and organised and defensive and look okay, but getting up the pitch, creating, driving the ball forward, there's nothing there.
Yeah,
that's the worry.
I can't hate Soucek. Honestly, I always think that when people say he should be dropped, he then turns on a performance, and you look back at this season, he's got crucial goals at crucial times, and you know, when he won us the penalty, I can't remember, we played earlier in the season with Villa first game, he won the penalty, and you know what, he's one of these players that I think if he's another one, if you played him in that position but had runners around him, it could work well. But you're right, the pace of all three does not work. And it was even worse earlier in the season when he played Rodriguez, Soler and Soucek. That was, I mean...
Can you see it working long-term in the Potter system?
What, with Soucek?
Because if you're already saying like James Ward-Prowse, I like James Ward-Prowse. So could it work with those two, maybe at the base?
Not both of them at the same time.
No.
I think either one of them. I mean, Soucek, we know he's good for winning headers in both boxes.
Yeah.
You know, I would hate to see him leave the club, but I think he needs more competition.
Yeah.
But I think they've been brilliant since they've come to the club, him and Soufal. I think they changed the mentality of working hard.
Yeah.
They do work hard.
I've heard a few. There's been a few sort of quotes from players where they've said that the guys that they come in, they're very down to earth. You know, I think Soufal gets a bus to the training, or he did get a bus to the training ground, and they came in on their days off, and you know they was in early, stayed late, so they set the tone.
Yeah.
For you know, so probably very important to Moyes early on. Really important to Moyes.
Yeah. Massively. You could see when Moyes first signed them, the way they changed the way it was at the football club. So, but I agree. I mean, I think that there's going to be, in the summer, we need to get at least three midfielders in. But it's who you go out and get. There's not that many players out there. And if you go and want to sign someone top quality, you've got to pay top quality money.
You got the likes of Gomez, who's out there at the moment, who everyone's been talking about for ages. You know, I've been banging on about him, but
it'll be a free transfer.
I feel like they're missing the boat on him now because they've left it. They could have got him on a pre-contract. That's what could have happened, but they might have had to have. I think with Sullivan, he always feels like if you wait, you know, because a player was obviously going to be asking, you know, if they're on free transfers, it's going to be a big signing on,
of course,
and big wages, and that, even though Sullivan's getting a freebie, he'll look at the wages and go, fucking hell.
Yeah. It's a bit like is it Jonathan David as well? He's on a free transfer as well, and spoke about this.
I'd love to get him.
Yeah, I think he'd suit the way Potter wants to play.
Yeah,
and I think with players like Kudus around him and Bowen and Paquetá as well.
Nicky's been banging on about Jonathan David for ages, isn't he? He loves it, doesn't he?
I think he's been talking about Craig David, to be honest. But no, he has. He has mentioned him before, and we spoke about him loads of times. And yeah, I think he would suit the Premier League, and there'll be a lot of teams after him. And if teams like Arsenal want him, or Newcastle, or Chelsea, or someone like that, he's going to choose them because he'll see them as bigger clubs and European football.
This is the worry, isn't it? So this is the problem that Potter's got, because I don't want us to go backwards to go forwards. I don't. Like we said earlier on, I think the club have been playing a game this season, saying that they're going to raise ticket prices, threatening all this stuff with concessions, and that's not taking anything away from what Hammers United have done. Yeah. They've been amazing. You know what they've done. Yeah. They've been brilliant. But I always have a bit of a cynical hat on whenever they do anything, and it's just a bit strange that they've kind of reversed concessions, they've frozen prices, and then all of a sudden they've come out and they've said, you know, when the numbers are announced, we're going to be up to £80 million in debt. So if we need to buy players, which
To
we
be fair, that's
absolutely
quite
do.
good for a football club in the Premier League, 80 million debt.
I know, but this is what I'm saying. They're saying we're skint, and I think it isn't just going to be the fact that the club want to sell. I think that's what people need to understand. If we're finishing 15th or 16th and we've had a second consecutive bad season, it don't matter whether players like the manager. Your top players ain't going to have it.
No, of course not. I mean, they're
not going to have it.
Likes of Kudus and Qatar, they're going to have people after him, especially Kudus. I think he's a top player. And, you know, if someone comes in and offers 80 million, we're not going to turn that down.
Yeah, I don't think they'll offer 80, but I think we're at a stage now with Kudus. Would you take, if he wants to go, if the player wants to leave, and it's quite, because he hadn't been that great this year. He's great against Arsenal.
He's been better the last 3 or 4 games, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to lose him. But would you, if he wanted to go, would you take 60 million, 65 million for him, if that's all you get?
Yeah, I think if he wants to go, then I think if that's probably what he's worth, around that 60, 65 million.
Yeah.
You know, you want to get a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, obviously with Paquetá, we don't know what's going to happen with him. He's the only other player probably that we could get money from. Bowen, we could, but Bowen's not going to go anywhere.
He ain't going anywhere.
No.
And then he's getting on a bit now. Well, not getting on, but he's what is he, 28, 29 now, isn't he? So I think he'll see his career out of West Ham.
Yeah, I hope he does, because he's loved there, and he's, you know, we know what he done in Prague, and
he's won silverware.
Exactly. He'll be up there as mentioned with legends at the football club. Not the iconic legends like Bobby Moore and Billy Bonds and Brooking.
Well, I think for a certain generation, it is legendary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I must admit that will always be ingrained in my fucking head. That moment, you know.
I was lucky enough to be behind the goal.
Yeah, I know.
And when he went through, and like I can still, even every time I talk about it, someone mentions it, I get goosebumps, because I can still picture that moment and everyone looking around and seeing how happy everyone was.
And how perfect was that pass from Paquetá as well?
Yeah.
It
was one of them moments that you'll never forget.
No.
Never forget in your life. I mean, I know the next day they'd done the parade, but I was still out in Prague, and I was gutted that I weren't there to see all in fact, but I would never swap that moment of being in that stadium and seeing Bowen go through one-on-one, score, and then watch Declan.
That was the most messed up thing, yeah. So that you had how many thousands of people out in Prague?
Yeah.
There were so many people out there.
1,000 out there, I think.
And then how many thousands of people on the parade?
I know.
They can't have all come back for that.
I know.
The club in terms of a fan base is pretty.
Oh, it's massive.
It actually is massive. Isn't
it is massive.
Yeah.
And when I say massive everywhere we go, it's true.
Yeah.
Because, you know, to see, I mean, we're watching the videos in I know we've gone off a bit script here talking about Prague, but I love talking about Prague.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, seeing all the videos of how many people are actually on the street that day, and in Stratford, and from the bowling all down Barker, not Barker Road, to the Green Gate and round to Plaistow, just the streets were just packed, and it was unreal. It was like, I would say, it's like we won the FA Cup.
Did you cry?
Do you know what? It was one of these weird moments, because I was emotional, but I think I was so emotionally drained I couldn't cry.
Yeah.
But the next day, when I was sitting back and we was talking about it and watching the videos of the players lifting the trophies and the players going back to the hotel with the fans and all that, then I got emotional. But in the stadium, I was so physically drained, because it was a long day.
Yeah.
It was a long day, and like out there, it was about 11 o'clock at night, wasn't it? Because we was in front, and it was the next day that it really hit me.
That's when it hits you. Yeah, I mean, I was watching it in the Black Line in Plaistow.
Yeah,
and my son got emotional. I got emotional, and even Nigel Khan, I turned around and he's literally got his head in his hand, sobbing. So I went over to give him a cuddle. He said, "Go away."
I think if I'd have been at home watching it on the screen,
it was.
I think I would have.
Yeah, I think what made it even better to a degree was it was such a shit game.
Yeah, it was.
And we just thought, this ain't going to happen here. It's not going to happen. And then for that to happen at that point, you're like, this is it. We've done it. And how long did it take for that final whistle to go, mate? Fucking hell, that was strict.
I remember they had a free kick, didn't they? And it come over, and Areola sort of like let it go out, and the whistle went, and it was just, it was mad. It was. I'll never forget. That's the first time I've seen us lift a major trophy. I've seen us lift the playoffs and.
Well, John afterwards, in the days afterwards, Virgil, he said, "I feel like Jay from the In-Betweeners now." He said, "It's like completed it, mate."
Yeah.
You know, he said, "I've spent my whole life wanting to see us win something," and he said, "I don't know." He said, "We've done it.
Like before, touch wood, before I go to my grave or before they burn me or whatever, I'd just love to see us win the FA Cup.
Is that the one now?
For me, that
I'd like
is the iconic cup to win. Like, obviously, I'd love to see us win the Premier League, but that's going to take a Man City thing to happen where we get taken over. But to win the FA Cup, I think would be massive for our football club.
That would be, and do you know what? That is one of the toughest cups to win.
I think it's because we've grown up with generations that have seen us win it before.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm jealous.
Yeah, we are, because I remember, like, I've still got photos like of the 1980 FA Cup.
I was 4 months old when we did it. I finally remember I was in a shitty nappy.
I wasn't even born. I was born in '84, so I haven't seen like anything like, so to see that in Prague. But yeah, the FA Cup at Wembley.
Yeah.
To see us win it would be massive.
That'd be different class. And if you could pick an opposition for us to beat in the
final,
Arsenal would be nice, wouldn't it?
Arsenal, yeah, but I know the obvious question would be, Tottenham and all that, but I wouldn't want Tottenham to get to the final. I'd probably say someone like Liverpool, a big club.
Mate, that was a good final, wasn't it, that we went to out in Cardiff? That was a great day.
Still the greatest FA Cup final.
Yeah, it's the biggest disappointment I've ever had in my life, because I thought we had that one.
Yeah.
I thought we had that one.
Yeah, well, you think it's going to be a day when Konchesky puts one in, it flies in the top corner, and you think, we've won this now. And then
why didn't he just kick the fucking ball on?
Scaloni, he went on to win the World Cup with Argentina as a manager. Fuck him.
Oh, no. Oh, dear. But no, so sort of go anyway, we digressed quite. I said that always happens. We digressed. So
I thought we was going to start talking about the War Cup.
Yeah, I know. So sort of going back to Potter for the summer and next season. So look, he's got a massive rebuild. The club are dicking around, so it looks like they're going to have to sell. He's going to need money, so they're going to have to sell to generate funds to give him money. I have got the concerns about Sullivan and Brady, because this isn't the Brighton model. So, like we were saying earlier on, his steady success that we saw at Brighton was with the Brighton machine. You won't see a manager fail at Brighton.
No.
With the way that they run that club, they always do well. Potter's going to have to be a lot. I think he's going to have to sort of dig his heels in a lot with West Ham. You know, when they're trying to force players on him, when they're trying to do this and give him alternatives, he's gonna have to. And also at Brighton, I don't think he was that involved in player procurement anyway. No. I don't think he was. Whereas now he's going to have to be, and he's got one of the guys there, and Cole McCauley. And I didn't know much about Cole, but I've spoken to someone who does know about scouts and whatever else. And this guy's got no reason whatsoever to give him a compliment, because, you know, he's standing in his way in some capacity.
Yeah.
But he said, I will give credit where it's due. The guy is a very, very good talent spotter. He's a good scout.
That's good to know.
So we've got someone there who's good in that capacity as well. So on top of that, we've got a manager who has proven that he's not scared to use youth.
Yeah.
He's brought goals through. Our under 23s or under 21s, they're starting to smash it again. We've got players that are starting to shine at that level. We've got Potts to come back as well. That I'll keep forgetting about. Potts.
Yeah, he's down at Portsmouth, isn't he?
He's down at Portsmouth. Yeah, he's getting Player of the Year that year, mate.
And you've got
Bristol.
Bristol. Yeah, he's doing well. So yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, we've seen it the last couple of years, the way our under 23s when they won the not the under 20, the under 18, 21, the Youth Cup against Arsenal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players in there that, I mean, you look at Mubama now. I'm a bit gutted we didn't keep him. You know, he's obviously at City now. He
loves him.
Oh.
Pep loves him.
Yeah. I thought you said Pep.
Sorry, no, yeah. Yeah, Pep. He loves him.
Yeah, because and I'm surprised that we didn't. The thing is, from Mubama's point of view, you've got City coming in for you. He's going to be earning a lot more money up there. He's going to be working with Haaland. You know, so
not a bad
as a youngster,
iron sharpens iron.
And the thing is, he's a West Ham fan. He's already won a trophy with us, so he might as well go up. But no, there's a lot of talent in that youth, and
there's loads, mate. There's a player that my son's, because he's been watching them all lately, and I think it's a Jala striker. I think he's in the under 18s, just fucking banging goals in for fun, mate. He looks mustard.
Yeah, I've seen highlights. Was he the one that scored against United?
Yeah,
Yeah. No, and as I said, we've grown up, and we remember the Harry Redknapp days when he used to bring through the youth, and you know we love seeing that.
Yeah.
You love seeing the youngsters come through, because
we could be on the cusp of that type of thing again with this manager.
Yeah, we just need to to work it right this time, because how we had that crop at the same time and never done anything.
It's
At that time, obviously, we was a selling club
with the likes of Di Canio there as well, and
Canio, Sinclair,
and, oh mate, it's bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's shocking. It's shocking. And I think I see a podcast recently with Rio on it, and he was talking about that he didn't want to leave West Ham, and
he didn't at the time.
Kept going to Terence Brown and saying, "Look, what's happening? Who are we getting in?"
Because where did he go? He went Leeds, didn't he?
Yeah,
he sold him to Leeds. Yeah.
I mean, 18 million back then was a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's probably a comparison now to like 80 million or something like that.
Yeah.
But and then obviously Lampard was Lampard. He was always going to leave the club.
How do you feel about Lampard? Are you one of them? Because I kind of, he used to frustrate me, but I do feel like the fans had no patience with him. In retrospect, at the time, I was one of those fans that was on his back. But when I do listen to him sometimes talk, and you can see, I think it did actually hurt him the way that fans were with him.
Of course it does. Yeah, I mean, look, I was young at the time when Lampard was coming through, so I couldn't really understand the hate. You know, because you look at his goal scoring record for us, it was decent. You know, everyone said he was obviously.
Did you feel like he was a little bit Soucek-esque? Just did nothing other, but he'd pop up and score. Obviously, he's a better player than Soucek.
Probably when he played for us, I can see what you mean. Like, but he done that at Chelsea. When you look,
I know,
he's just arrive late in the box and he'll score, and he's still their top goal scorer, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, I couldn't really understand the hate when I was a youngster. Obviously, when you get a little bit older, you get involved and you sing the songs and all that. But I've never really had a hatred towards Frank Lampard, and I think that, you know, I've been lucky enough to interview his dad, and I was see his dad just before Christmas at an event, and even the way he talks about young Frank, it must have hurt young Frank because he's a West Ham fan. Yeah, he grew up a West Ham fan. His dad's a legend at the club. Yeah, and then when you get your own turn,
it must have hurt Frank.
Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does, and it would have hurt his mum as well. Yeah. So, but look, it's football at the end of the day. We've got the same thing with Rice now. Like, I can't hate Declan Rice.
But do you know what, though? Because I do. Don't hate him. Let me get this on the record. Yeah, I ain't hate. I've got a serious level of disappointment for the fact that he went to Arsenal. Right?
And that's what I think it is with a lot of our fans. And for me as well, it's going to a London rival. Yeah. If he'd have gone to Man City or Man United,
we knew he was going.
Bayern Munich, no one would have cared.
Yeah, we knew he was going to go. But and some of the stuff that he said since he's left as well, I don't think he did himself any favours. Like, you know, where he was quoted as saying, "Oh, I never knew football until I came here." Hang on, mate, we made you £100 million player.
I think that was them comments were a bit like, we took him from someone that Chelsea didn't want and turned him into an England international worth 100
Exactly, yeah.
So, and a European champion.
He ain't improved, does he?
No.
Since he left West Ham.
Yeah. I said this, like, when you play for West Ham, if Declan had a bad game, we let it go because we know he's going to be better next week.
I'm aware of it, yeah.
You know, he always give us an 8 out of 10 performance.
Yeah.
He'll make mistakes, but you get on.
Mate, when you do that, one hand, these bad games.
Yes, when you do that at Arsenal, especially with their fan base, certain members of their fan base, they will criticise you.
Sometimes he ain't even had a bad game. I know some Arsenal fans who are quite sensible, and they say sometimes he gets shit. And he ain't really even had a bad game. It's because he's their record signing and they look towards him. But I'm going to go in on someone a little bit, who I really like. I do. Did you see the little video from Lee Judges?
Yes.
I thought that was bang out of order.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't like that. And that made me feel bad for Rice, because if you are watching Declan Rice, we don't hate you, mate. I don't think any West Ham fan does hate him. No. That is not the case. If you came back, it'd be
it's all banter, mate. We're going to the Emirates.
Mate, we're trying to get into his head. We don't want him to play well.
I went to our home game this season. I was sitting in the Billy Bonds lower, right near the corner flag, and he come over to take a corner, right? And someone was down injured in the box, and he was leaning on the corner flag, and people down there were shouting, was going, Rice, you love West Ham, and he had a little smirk on his face, and he's leaning on the corner flag, and someone went to him, Rice, tap your chest if you still love West Ham, and and he went like that. He has got a lot of love. I know Declan's a people pleaser sometimes. He'll say what he thinks right to, but I do genuinely think he loves the football club, and it always.
Do you think there is any element of? Obviously, look, he can't wish he was at West Ham and with the shit that we've been going through since he's been gone. But do you feel like there's a part of him that when he gets him struggles at Arsenal at the club where he ain't really appreciated? Not really. Do you feel like he misses West Ham?
Of course.
Do you reckon he does?
and I think he made it very clear that he's still in contact with. He's still on the WhatsApp group with the players.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, and he's still obviously Noble's like one of his best mates, and I know Noble obviously goes around his house. He goes around Noble's house, so he's still got that connection with the club. And I've always said this, that I can see him coming back to our club one day. Might not be
I
in the next couple of years, but
couldn't we put in a cheeky £50 million bid for him in the summer after money?
I think they'd take it.
I think they would. I reckon they would.
Yeah, I just think that.
Do you reckon he would come back?
No,
he would.
Not now. Not now, because it'll be. He's obviously left us to go and win stuff. He's gone to Arsenal, and it hasn't worked out for him. When Lee Judges were saying about Declan's cost us 2 Premier League titles or whatever it was, and that's not down to Rice. That's down to their board not signing the striker.
But I think I get it in some respects. If you're looking at players like Ronaldo and Messi, where they're just collecting honour after honour after honour, and it's all about them rather than the teams that they're playing for. They're collecting personal honours almost. You know, that's what they're doing. Trophies in their cabinets, but not many players are going to get the opportunity to do that sort of thing. So for you to cement yourself as a bit of a football legend, I think there has to be a bit of a connection to a club.
Yeah.
For instance, if Bowen retires at West Ham, he is definitively a bigger legend than Declan Rice.
Of course.
100%. So literally, he is a legend, even if he wins nothing else.
I wouldn't put Declan Rice down as a legend of West Ham anyway.
No. But I think if he'd have stayed, he would have.
Oh, yeah, if he'd have stayed with his career, then yeah. But because obviously, I see him as, obviously, he's up there with the likes of Bobby Moore, Billy Bonds, lifting a trophy as a captain.
Yeah. And
there'll be iconic images that we'll see for the rest of our lives. But in terms of, I think Bowen's more of as a legend as.
Yeah.
Not only did he score the winner, but I think that when I look at players...
he has bad games and no one says anything.
No. He was poor beginning of the season under Lopetegui.
He's like every bit as shit as Caduceus sometimes. Yeah. And people just, they start on Caduceus, they leave him alone.
Yeah, but because we just think, he done it in Prague.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's how we think as West Ham.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, when I said about Rice, he has a bad game for us. We think, oh, fuck it, he'll be good next week.
But mate, think to next year, right? We could have... Forget everyone else. We could have Scholes, we could have Potts, we could have Earthy. We've got Callum Marshall who could come in and do a few bits. I think he does need to go back out again though. Maybe Championship, Marshall. But Earthy's one that disappointed me because I don't think he's benefited from going out on loan, and he was showing something when we had him. When he
scored towards the end of the season.
Oh mate, so I think sometimes you've got to build on momentum. Some players will benefit. Like Potts definitely has benefited from his loans. At Wickham, Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Portsmouth Player of the Year.
They love him down there, don't they?
They absolutely love him down there. But with Earthy, I just hope that we start to see that type of thing again. And I think we could. That might be why we're selling. That could be another reason why we're looking at sort of clearing the decks as well. And the other thing that I looked at earlier on, because this has been a shit season, mate.
Yeah, it hasn't been enjoyable.
This has been bad, yeah. Like it's been really bad. And I always reference these other teams. Bournemouth, been brilliant. Like Fulham. But you know, we're only 10 points away from them.
Yeah.
We're literally 10 points from like 7th, 8th.
Well, we've got 11 games left, so there's 33 points to what? That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, but we've been so shit, and we're only like 10 points off them.
Yeah. Going back to like when you're talking about Potter, that's one thing. We've got 11 games left. I look at who we've got left, and I think that they should be aiming to try to get at least 5 wins out of their 11 games.
Yeah.
Maybe a few more, because 33 points. So they should have an aim of like thinking, we'll try to get to 50 points. So that's 17 points. That's 5 wins and 2 draws. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking God. I feel like Carol Balderman.
You got it bang up.
If I got it wrong, just edit me in. But yeah, that's what we should be aiming for. I'm thinking, right, 5 wins and then try to get some bonus wins. Like, because we've got some tough games. We've got to go to Old Trafford. Even though Man United are shit, we never seem to win now.
No.
Even when they're shit. We've got Tottenham at home, which, you know, we want to get that win. Newcastle at home this Monday, which they've got a cup final coming up.
It's 5 days away from that game, though.
So, are they going to want to risk a lot of their players?
I think it'll be in the back of their minds.
Yeah.
Because they haven't won a trophy
ever. Yeah, they
don't want a trophy.
None of them players will want to get injured at West Ham.
No way.
So, there's, and we've got Liverpool. Right, that one off. That's But then again, that'll be typical West Ham to go up there and get a fucking result.
We could. I mean, look. I think the aim for me, I will be happy if we just finish above Everton. That's the thing. So
Tell you what, their manager ain't doing bad.
he ain't doing bad. Bastard, isn't he? And they're actually playing football and all. Football that with that. Do you know that game that he played against Liverpool? Right? Did you see what he did? He was going for the win. He threw 2 players up front. He threw a centre back up front to try and. Oh mate, we've never seen anything like that at West Ham. It's like he's bantering us. He was proper full on the front foot, going for the game. You know, it weren't like, oh, we're playing against Liverpool. I can take a narrow loss. It weren't a win. It was 2-1. He was trying to get back into the game. But yeah, just pouring forward, and you just like, where the fuck is it?
It was always going to happen, though.
Like
It was. Do you know what? Funny enough, and I'm going to dig this out because I remember saying it on one of our shows earlier in the season.
Yeah.
That I said this was going to happen at Everton.
Yeah.
I said Dyche should get through to about November time, I think it was.
Oh, you called him to go back?
And I said Moyes would go back.
Yeah.
Because it'll be the easy option, especially when they're struggling, because they just wanted to get Premier League football in that new stadium.
Yeah, yeah.
And whether he signed a 2-year deal, didn't he? So he'll be the first manager there. He'll go out and recruit in the summer. He'll probably try to sign
by Soucek, by Soucek.
Yeah, that's what he'll probably do.
I'll draw him up there.
But look, I know you hated Moyes. I mean, I
fucking hell.
You should have shown it a little bit more, your frustration.
Yeah, I did try to tone it down at times.
I did get that.
Yeah.
No, but look, Moyes for me was frustrating. But I would say that the time Moyes was there in his second spell was some of the best times I've had as a guest. Especially even that COVID season when we had Lingard.
No. But when he initially came in, it was shit. So, you know, when he took over from Pellegrini, it weren't great. But then that COVID season kicked on.
Yeah.
And that was good. That was good. But we kept him 2 seasons too long. I know included in that 2 seasons is the Conference League, Conference League win. But in the Premier League, we've been really poor for, you know, as long as I can remember now. I think you're looking at 3 years. We've been like really poor in the Premier League.
And I think obviously the win in Prague, you sort of overlooked the Premier League and
massively. So yeah, he weren't a failure, David Moyes. He weren't. He was a success.
Yeah.
Right, and I say that through gritted teeth. He was definitely.
I think he even got us our record points in the Premier League, didn't he? And like he's got a lot of records, and he'll always be part of our history as obviously with winning the cup.
I know.
But look, I shared the same.
Started to twitch.
I thought you getting emotional. I feel like Piers Morgan trying to make you cry, break him down. But yeah, no, look.
But I won't dismiss. There were some good times.
Yeah.
Some excellent times.
Yeah.
And you know, he should have gone after Prague.
Oh, 100%.
Because you know something.
100% he should.
There was people talking about him getting sacked anyway because the Premier League season was that bad.
Yeah.
You know, he would 100% have got sacked had we not won that cup.
Oh, of course.
It'd have been gone.
And I think that would have been perfect for him to go. And I think it was a perfect time for us to, because I think we'd have got a better appointment than Lopetegui if we had sat Moyes sooner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Lopetegui was just a panic sort of cheap option. And that's what our club do. They go for the cheapest option. We've never paid compensation for a manager apart from Pardew back in 2003.
But it was cheap and it was on a short-term deal. And I said this the other day, right? There's part of me that thinks when you look back at Lopetegui, that's why I think Potter's doing quite well. Because it ain't easy at West Ham. And maybe that's why you've got to give Moyes even more credit. Because it ain't easy at West Ham with those running the club. Because when you look at when Lopetegui came in, they backed him, it looked like, financially. We bought a load of players in. But apparently 3 of them were Sullivan's, 3 of them was Lopetegui's, and 3 of them was Steins. We had an alienated director of football that all of a sudden Sullivan didn't want.
Yeah.
He had to work with that. There was player power that started from the beginning. Apparently what he did, I've learned since, he axed a training day, a rest day. So when Lopetegui first went in, he went, no, we've got to work hard, we've got to get fit. He axed a rest day. That is where it all started spiralling. There were some players that was going, what are you getting rid of one of my days off?
Yeah, I heard a few stories because we actually, where I work, we deliver to the training ground.
Yeah.
And I remember a lot of stories about Lopetegui, about how he stopped the staff mixing with the players in the same canteen and things like that, where David Moyes was totally different. He'd invite everyone in and made sure everyone ate together.
Oh, yeah.
And he changed the culture around the training ground. He upset a lot of the staff there that have worked there for a long time. And I understand managers, you know, it's new, you want to change a few things, but it's like any place. If a new manager comes in, they should sit back for the first few months and watch how it goes and learn about the people. Don't upset the people.
Yeah.
And that's where I think Lopetegui lost. Because every time I see Lopetegui in an interview, and he come across as a nice person, you know.
He did.
I felt a bit sorry for him at sometimes, but
he lost his dad in that 6 months as well.
And I think we would have sacked him sooner if it wasn't for dad passing away, you know. And I know that sounds horrible to say.
I don't think that's because Sullivan cares. I think that's just because it would have been really bad PR.
Yeah, massively. But then, would it have surprised you?
No, it wouldn't. No,
it wouldn't have surprised me if Sullivan and Brady turned up.
We sack him by text, someone said.
Most probably.
That's what someone said in the end. We sacked him by text. And as bad as what we done to Avram, though, was it?
Oh, no.
That was brutal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was brutal.
I've heard them stories about, was in Wigan away, when it?
Yeah.
They let him on the bus. And it was only that a couple of players said, no, you got to let him on the bus.
Fucking bad, isn't it? That's so bad. But the
Dude, I'm just picking Avram.
He's got no class, that bloke.
No, I'm just picking Avram lost in Wigan. Trying to fucking find their way home.
Can't understand anyone.
Oh, mate.
But anyway, I suppose what we'll do, we'll close it on the next two games, yeah? So we'll talk about Newcastle. Back-to-back wins are on, back-to-back clean sheets. We've got players coming back. Paqueta's apparently going to be back.
Yeah.
There's a rumour that there is a surprise player that's going to be back. That's either going to be Fulkrug or Somerville. So apparently it's Paqueta and one other. So
I'm thinking more Somerville, because I think.
Oh man, I hope so.
Yeah.
I ain't got anything against Fulkrug.
No,
I haven't. I'm not a massive fan of his, but do you know what? When I saw him come against Aston Villa in Potter's first game, I realised that there's a player there.
Yeah, definitely.
He looked decent all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You're like, fucking hell, he can link up play. He looked really good, and he only injured himself because he went on a sprint for the first time since he's played for us, didn't he? So we've got some players coming back. Newcastle, they've not had their best season, but obviously they've got some fucking great players, haven't they?
Oh,
you know. But we did pull their pants down at St James's. We did beat them. That was
probably one of the highlights of
that was our best performance of the season, I think.
Yeah,
it was. But in typical Lopetegui style, though, we could have been 2 or 3 goals down before we actually scored in that game. You know,
that's just not Lopetegui. That's West Ham stuff.
Yeah. But it was a great performance. That was. So Newcastle. What do you reckon? What are you thinking? Are we going to build on the momentum? Do you think is it too much of a push to think that we can win that?
No, I think it's a game we can win.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping we win because it's my birthday on Monday. So
really?
Yeah, we need West Ham to give us a win on my birthday. But yeah, no, I think the way we've been setting up, like Tadibo coming in has been, I think Kilman has benefited from playing alongside Tadibo.
Yeah,
I think having Creswell alongside him as well has benefited. As we,
I think Creswell's really fucking helped.
Yeah,
Kilman
massively. Newcastle, as you said, they've got a cup final on Sunday against Liverpool. The following Sunday. So yeah, players, do they want to get injured? That they will be pulling out the tackles.
Yeah,
Isak, is he going to want to? I mean, he's world class. Isak,
mate,
what a player he is. I mean,
it's a ridiculous player.
How old is he? He's only like 23, something like that.
He's a baby,
and he's scoring goals like that.
Yeah, he was in the academy, scoring loads of goals when David Moyes was at Real Sociedad.
What made me laugh though was, do you remember when we beat Newcastle? It was the Isak day. Do you remember when they had the big thing and he was absolutely donkey that day and we won 2-0?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'd like to see us put in a good performance. And as you said, Paqueta's back, hopefully.
I think he could suit us because I think we're definitely going to flourish more against teams that come at us.
Yeah.
They ain't sitting back.
No, of course not.
They're not going to sit back.
Of course not. We've got to find a way of breaking down their defence because they've got a solid, like what's his name, Dan Burn.
Yeah,
that's 10 foot tall. So we're not going to win many headers.
The guy comes alive in that game though. Yeah. He likes to smash his mate up, doesn't he?
Yeah,
proper beast. Yeah, I'll tell you what. In that game, if you go back and look at some of the clips, because Joe Linton's a big geezer and all.
Yeah.
Paqueta was bashing them all up. He's a big geezer, Paqueta, isn't he? You don't realise. He was beasting Guimaraes and Joe Linton and Soler was brilliant in that game as well.
Yeah.
So
no, I think it's a game that can suit us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to see us get a win over Newcastle.
Yeah.
Just to keep that momentum going. As I said, like Potter's probably got his targets for the end of the season, and I think obviously for him, he just wants to try to get as many good wins under his belt. But it's about, I think he needs to start winning the crowd over as well.
Yeah.
because you know yourself, you find a lot of people go to that London Stadium, and it's one of the main reasons why I give up my season ticket this year, because I felt like it was a chore going over there, and I wasn't enjoying it.
Yeah.
Where I've seen probably a lot worse football at Upton Park, but I used to love going to the bowling ground. Used to love it.
You're not part of it.
No.
You don't feel like you're part of it when you go over there.
And I've sat, my season ticket was sort of like Billy Bond's stand, sort of halfway up.
Yeah.
So I always used to like being a little bit higher so I can see the games. I like watching the game, where some people go for different reasons, like just seeing. But at Upton Park, for many years, I was bobbing more lower. I was like third row back.
Yeah.
And you couldn't always see everything that was going on. But it was just, we loved it. It felt so, I remember when players used to come over to get the ball, they was like right there, and you can give them a bit, you know.
I shifted for the final season, 15-16. I went all fucking band one, didn't I? So I went up to the West Stand, upper tier, midway up, right on the halfway line. So for that 15-16 season, mate, I was brilliant.
Well, I wanted to take my daughter, so I got her a season ticket for the last 3 years at the bowling ground, and we sat Trevor Brook in upper, and we was second row from the front, and we was like sort of just above the goal.
Yeah.
So we had such a good view, and you had the away fans just below you.
Yeah.
And because I remember when Payet scored that free kick against Palace, I was literally right behind that, and I can see it now. And funny enough, someone put a video up earlier of Payet's West Ham goals. Some of the goals he scored, but that free kick for me is one of the best goals I've ever seen live.
Is that the one where it felt like there was about 15 players in the wall?
And the goalkeeper was even in that corner.
He was in the corner.
And it just went, I mean, you couldn't get no more top corner.
Henri said that should be illegal, what he did there. It was.
I still don't even know how he'd done it.
Because he'd already scored loads of free kicks. Yeah. So they'd gone, fuck, we've got, so they put everyone in the wall.
Yeah.
And like you just said, they put the keeper in that corner as well. How much of a piss take was that?
Oh, mate.
He just put it in that corner.
He was ridiculous as a player. I know he had his issues at the end, but I always said that last season at the bowling.
Most talented player you've seen in Claret and Blue? Talented. He is for me. I'm going to say he is.
It's hard for me. I think he is.
I've never seen anyone that could do stuff like that on the ball with it.
But I remember seeing a young Joe Cole come through, and things he used to do back then.
Oh yeah, he was exciting.
Skillful, yeah.
He was exciting.
But with some of the goals that Payet scored, he's probably the best player technically that I've ever seen in the West Ham shirt.
I think, because don't forget that season, that was a season that Leicester won the league, wasn't it? So Mahrez was brilliant that season as well. But I think he was like.
Do you know what? Right,
if you would, at the end of that season, if someone said to you, "I want to swap Messi with Payet," you'd have said bollocks.
No,
I don't want him. I don't want Messi. Stick him up your arse.
You know what? And I still stand by this. I think if we didn't lose Payet for them 8 games during that season,
we'd have won.
I think we'd have won the league.
Yeah.
I really think we would have. I think we were better than
that. Was when at the Everton player, wasn't it?
He was out for 8 games, wasn't he? And we drew so many games in that time. And then you look at the end. What did we finish? We were 4 points off Champions League.
We was definitely a one-man team that year.
Oh yeah, massively. But he brought out the best in everyone. Like
that's what a world-class player does. A world-class player brings the levels up of everyone around.
I was watching Mark Noble, and I love Nobes, but I was watching him do things. He was just spraying the ball. That game when we played Arsenal at home.
Cresswell with bollocks.
Cresswell.
He was brilliant.
Andy Carroll had a full season.
Oh.
Scored so many goals. Like it was. That was great.
Lanzini's was that his first season when he came in? Because he looked mustard as well, didn't he?
No, it was. Even Antonio, he went from a right back to our all-time Premier League top goal scorer.
Yeah. I'll tell you, that was back when Antonio was, I think he was played mostly as a fucking right back, wasn't he, that season? Not a right back, but he used to make those late runs to the back post. And when you got Payet on the left and you got Antonio sort of running from the right, oh, mate.
No, it was
such a good season. I think the balance was beautiful because you had the craft of Payet on the left. You had sort of Lanzini in the middle. You had Noble there. But then you had someone completely different in Antonio on the right. Yeah. Just a fucking battering ram. And the balance was so good. Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah. And there's other players there that you forget that. Like you had Enner Valencia there that season.
Yeah.
Sacco. We had a really, really good team. And obviously you had the love story of Bilic coming back with Julian Dick.
Yeah.
Everything was meant for that season because technically our last home game should have been Swansea at home. But the rearranged game to play Man United, the biggest club in the world at the time, to play them at Upton Park on your final game and be 2-1 down and win 3-2.
It's the best day of my
You
life.
can't. Yeah, you can't. It was the whole day for me. I was in the bowling pub at 11 o'clock.
It was the best day of my life. It was honestly the best day of my life. That was my son was quite young at the time, Ben. I took both of my boys, so we was all there. But he was quite young, and what used to happen with him when he was age, I think he was about 6 or 7, and he used to sort of nod off and drift away, and not always watch the games entirely. So I used to keep on persisting with him. Absolutely adores his football now, but actually ever since that night, it was late because it kicked off late.
Yeah.
So he was tired anyway. He was a baby. But because of the atmosphere in there, he stood on his fucking seat and his eyes were like that for the entire night, mate. It was unbelievable. And it's been ever since then of me dragging him over West Ham, making him watch it. But he's literally fallen in love with it.
Yeah, nice. It was just it was a special.
It was different class.
Day and night, and I'm glad they delayed it by 45 minutes because it gave me time to sober up.
Yeah.
I got to that point. I remember I was out all day. Went to the bowling first, then we went to the working man's club.
I bet you were one of them that put the windows through on the bus, didn't you?
No, I was on the statue when that was happening.
Was you really?
Honestly, mate, I was so pissed at that time. And then I thought, right, it's about 6 o'clock. I better stop drinking.
Yeah.
I want to sober myself up. And I sort of did because I didn't want to not remember any of the game.
Yeah.
And it was a brilliant night. Brilliant season that was.
Different class, mate.
So many away wins we got that season. Arsenal, City, Liverpool.
I say it so many times, right? That was the last time I remember that if we went a goal down, I didn't give a fuck. I thought,
Do you know what, right?
we're coming back.
All the years I've been going
We're coming back.
outfield, never seen us win. That season, I let Graham go and we won 3-0. I was gutted because I'm thinking we ain't won there since what the Beatles were top of the charts and fucking. Oh yeah, I was just like, but no, yeah, it was great season, great memories.
Yeah, no, it was good. And then do you know what? It weren't that long ago either. The good times could be back. You don't know. We've got this new crop of players coming through that we've already spoken about. So I suppose we're going to close it on Everton, which is the big one. I'm desperate for us to fucking win this game. I really am.
Why is that, Nick?
I don't think we're going to though, because I just feel. I don't know. I don't think we're. No, I don't know. It's difficult. How do you think Moyes is going to go? How big do you reckon Moyes' bollocks are? Do you think he's going to come out to try and mow us down, or do you reckon he's going to be pragmatic and be scared of losing? How do you reckon he's going to play it? I reckon his arsehole's going to go.
Yeah, he's not going to lose that game.
No.
So, but do you know what? It's one of them games where you could see West Ham.
Has he ever outsmarted Potter, by the way? He ain't, is he? Not when Potter was at Brighton.
We didn't beat him when he was at Chelsea, did we?
No.
Nah.
He ain't. So that bodes well.
Maybe
bodes well.
One over him because Potter has got a good record at the Emirates as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, listen, Moyes will want to win this game.
It's going to be massive.
Our fans will want to win this game.
Yeah.
Who our players want to win this game as much. There will be a lot of players that maybe Moyes didn't get on with at West Ham that maybe they want to get one over on him.
Yeah.
As their old manager. But yeah, Moyes will not want to lose this game.
That's the massive game. I'm going to give you two choices. We can only have one win, right? We either beat Everton or we beat Spurs. Which one you picking? Everton or Spurs? We can only win one of them.
Oh, fucking hell. Can I take win the Everton? But my Spurs mates fucking on at me all the time, giving it. And I just like seeing Big Ange when he sits there going, we is, mate. Yeah, we're fucking.
So we are, mate.
That's what we do, mate. Yeah. That little coffee fucking does. I don't know. That's tough. I know you're going to say Everton because you.
And I fucking detest Tottenham.
Yeah.
Like with a raging passion.
I don't know. I think. Yeah. I don't want to lose to Spurs at home.
Yeah. Because
their fans are just fucking. They say like.
Yeah, but the thing is, they've just had such a shit season anyway. It don't even matter.
Yeah, it's true.
It ain't like that. I mean, they've been so bad this year. They've been shit, haven't they?
I mean, I didn't hate Moyes as much as you hated Moyes. So
no. It was genuine hate as well. I'm not a fan. It's not with Lopetegui. It wasn't. I think he disliked the fans. That guy as well.
Who, Moyes?
Oh, mate, seriously, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I never ever got to meet him. I went to a fans forum that they done in the stadium, and he was in with Mark Noble. It was his first time he was down.
Oh, he was an arrogant fuck.
And he come across all right in that.
Yeah.
And obviously they got rid of him at the end of the season. But yeah, I mean, I've never really had a one-on-one chat with him.
No.
I always wanted Moyes to be one of them managers, and the way it was with him, because I thought he'd done well for us. That I always wanted him to leave the club at the right time, because I always wanted him to be welcomed back to the club, not as a manager, but if he ever come back to the ground, fans would go, oh, which they probably will do. Thanks for Prague and all that. But I know there's a lot of hatred out there for him, and listen, he pissed me off sometimes as well. Not as much as he did you.
It's some of that fucking football, mate. Honestly, some of the. It just stresses me out. It does, thinking about it. With the players that we had as well. I'll remember Soucek having one of the worst seasons that he's ever had in a fucking claret and blue shirt, and you had Fornals and Lanzini on the bench, and you're like, mate, what has this geezer got to do to get benched?
That was another big mistake when it let him fall.
Oh, fuck! In his prime, 27 years
he loves
old.
the club, didn't he? I've seen it who he done saying he would never have signed for another English club, which I think is City coming through.
And these kids have always got West Ham shirts on.
I love seeing things like that.
It's quality.
Love seeing ex-players and they still love the club.
Yeah.
You know, we interviewed Kevin Nolan just before Christmas, November time.
I do like Nolan.
And the love for West Ham was unreal.
Yeah.
And then I went to another event with him, E13 event at Romford.
Did you have a word with him after?
What about?
About Moyes.
He loves Moyes. He obviously loves Moyes. And I said to him, I said, I bet you're a bit gutted you took the Northampton job because you would have gone to Everton. But he turned around and said, no, it's my time to try to, because he wanted to come back to West Ham as manager one day. No,
right, okay.
That's what he said. And it was the love for the football club that I just love. Even, you know, when you see the ex-players in the away end. And
Yeah.
So I don't see that at any other football club.
Not really.
Even the way we treat our ex-players, like with the corporate lounges and things like that. Other clubs don't do that.
It's with West Ham. I think it does start from the fans though. It's really odd. And look, there are other clubs that do similar, but with us, we're horrible, we're brutal, we're nasty, we're hard to please. But if we love you, it's proper love.
Oh, of course,
that's proper. Once you're in the circle, you ain't getting out.
I find that every player that I find every player that plays for the football club and has a good relationship with the fans, when you meet them afterwards, like years later, they still have that love for the football club. And it's like they say, once a hammer, always a hammer.
Yeah.
And it's I hate it when you see ex-players that have played for us. Someone like Rio Ferdinand don't always talk about us in the best light.
No.
And there are other players, but 9 times out of 10, an ex-player has always got something good to say about the football club. But they always say, the first thing they say is not about the managers they played for, the players they played with, how the fans were.
Yeah.
And how the fans took to me and the fans loved me. And that's one thing. We've grown up, we ain't seen much success, glory in our life.
Mate, but we had this conversation the other day. This is what we've lost at Upton Park. How many times have you heard ex-players give... I watched a podcast on it the other day. And there's been several over the years. Wayne Rooney's another one of them, where they get asked, where did you hate playing most? The amount of times they say Upton Park.
Yeah.
Fuck that place. They go.
Yeah. It was a horrible place.
Yeah. That's what I mean, and that's what we had. That's the 12th man.
It changed a lot when we built the new stand, but
that is the 12th man. That's what we were. You know, we gave our team the edge.
Yeah.
In that place.
Yeah. Them players used to come on that pitch, and even like when we used to play like Man United at the time. And you'd come back from 2-0 down to get the draw, and it was just something special about that place. And I've said this many a times, and it's sad that there's generations that will never know what Upton Park was.
No.
Never experienced the bowling ground. It's quite sad, really, that future generations have only got the London Stadium to look for. Unless something drastic happens and we get new owners and they build a new ground somewhere else, I don't think that's going to happen.
It all depends. It all depends with that place. I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but I'd be over the move. I've got to be honest. If they moved this elsewhere now, I don't enjoy it over there.
No, there was a long time that I was going over there and I was trying to enjoy it, and it's had its moments. Seville, one of the best atmospheres I've ever been involved in.
It's a cup final venue.
Yeah,
it's not a big occasion venue.
That's why You know, when we played the final in Prague,
Yeah.
and we played in the Eden Arena and it was tiny.
Yeah.
I thought there was something romantic about that. I thought it's better
Yeah.
than being in a big 90,000. As much as I wanted more West Ham fans.
It's awesome,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when we flew home, there was a lot of Man City fans that were flying out to go and play in the Champions League final in Turkey. And we was talking to them in the airport. And where they played, do you remember that, like, their fans were stuck in the corner, couldn't get nowhere near the players.
Fuck yeah.
You know, celebrating. And like, with us, the trophy, like, the players are there holding it and we're there.
Yeah.
It's like a little small venue. And look, I know there was.
I'm so envious of everyone that was out there, honestly.
Yeah,
that must have been different class.
The whole 3 days I was out there was just 4 days, sorry. It was just everyone was in a good mood.
Yeah.
Even if we'd have lost that final, it would have still been everyone in a good mood because for us to, and that's why we sing Champions of Europe, we know what we are.
Yeah.
When people look at us like, nah, but we do it because we've taken the piss out of ourselves.
People don't get it.
That's what we do.
That's not when we sing we're massive. West Ham are massive.
Because we know it winds them up.
Yeah.
We know it winds them up.
What do you mean you're massive?
I know they're on every day. You ain't fucking massive. We know we do it to wind them up. Sorry, and that's one thing. That's why I always say that we have got a special fan base.
We have.
We have. And you always know. You go anywhere in the world, you see a West Ham fan. What's the
every time you're laying around the pool? There's a fucking claret. There's a course down there
and blue towel.
There's the old tattoos everywhere and
mate.
Every time.
I love it.
Right, last thing we're gonna say. There's in our little I think there's a 4-way race. You've got Tottenham, you've got Man U, you've got West Ham, you've got Everton. Who's going to finish first, second, and third for you in our little league that we're having at the moment? Man United, Spurs, Everton, and West Ham. End of the season. Who's going to be top?
I think we'll finish above United.
Yeah.
I think we'll finish above Everton.
Yeah.
I think it'll be Tottenham, West Ham, United. No, Everton, United.
You think United at the bottom?
I think United are gonna.
Oh, really?
Gonna really struggle.
Yeah, that fucking. He's really struggling, that guy.
I think he's lost 14 out of his 20.
I made a big fuss about him coming in from Sporting Lisbon. Fuck.
But he would probably work at a club like us.
Yeah.
Because
they're a mess, aren't they?
I was watching. Do you watch the overlap with Gary Neville? He was talking the other day about how much debt they're in. Yeah. It's worrying. If I was a Man United fan, I'd be shitting myself because I'd be thinking like, we're not.
Look at the roof.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, I think Old Trafford is a beautiful style. I've been there times, and I thought, fuck, look at this Theatre of Dreams and how big it is. Like, but then when you look at all the
when you're sitting up there though, because you're fucking right up the top. I mean, players are like ants, aren't they?
Yeah.
You literally, they stick you right at the back, don't they?
Yeah.
When you go.
I mean, like I was there when we beat him in the FA Cup when Di Canio scored. I was there when Tevez scored the last game of the season. I've only ever seen us win there 3 times out of probably getting there about 30 times, but yeah. Iconic moment, iconic ground, and it's Man United have got a generation of fans that have been so used to seeing them winning.
Yeah,
they don't know what to do when they're struggling.
No,
and that's why they're having meltdowns, and it's so great to see. You sit back as West Ham fans. When we're good, we're shit. When we're shit, we're shit. We're one of them clubs, isn't we?
Yeah, no, we are.
We'll get a good win, and that's how we used to get along.
And we still moan about it.
Yeah, we still moan, but yeah. So I think we'll finish above Everton and United, but just below Spurs. But hopefully we'll finish above Spurs.
I'm going to go top.
Top, yeah?
Yeah.
I can see it. Happening.
I'm going to go top, and I'm going to go Man United, Spurs, and I'm relegating Moyes. He ain't going to get relegated, but I'm putting him at the bottom. So that's where I think it will finish. So we shall
as long as we don't finish bottom of that.
That's it. Right, anyway, Ryan, that'll do, mate. I think that's us done. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. It's good to just sit back, have a couple of beers and talk West Ham.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Top man.
Thank you so much, mate.
Cheers, mate. Right, don't forget, everyone, if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Speak to you all soon.